Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sangat Ji, today we will learn about the Shaheedi of Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur. In April, during the year 1715, the Mughals surrounded Gurgas Nangal, where 8,000 Sikhs were defending the fort. On the 17th of December 1715, Abdus Samad swore on the Quran that his men would not harm anyone if Baba Banda Singh Bahadur opened the fortress gate. However, when the gates were opened, the Mughals broke their promise and brutally attacked around 300 Sikhs. Subsequently, Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur and his Sikh soldiers were captured on the same day in 1715. Banda Singh had chains round his ankles and his wrists and was then locked in an iron cage. The list of confiscated items belonging to the Sikhs from the fort was supplied by Kanwar, who was the author of Tazkirah. The list goes: 1,000 swords, 217 small swords, 114 daggers, 278 shields, 178 arrows, 180 matchlock rifles, 23 gold seals, 600 in cash, and a handful gold ornaments. The parade was led by a musical band of Mughal troops holding 3,000 Sikh heads on lances, followed by an elephant carrying Banda Singh in a cage with two army officers. Banda Singh was heavily restrained with shackles, handcuffs, and chains, along with 200 Sikh captives on camels and donkeys behind. Zakriya Khan detained Baba Banda Singh Bahadur and his army in Lahore for about 2 months to capture more Sikhs to satisfy the king. The procession went through the Lahore Bazaar towards the palace. Along the way, innocent Sikhs and some Hindus were slaughtered and were added to the 300 Sikhs slain in Gurdas Nangal. On the 25th February in 1716, Baba Banda Singh along with 740 Sikh prisoners arrived in Agrabad. The cartload of slain heads were filled to instill fear and to demonstrate their power. The cavalcade to the imperial capital was a grisly sight. Besides 740 Sikh prisoners in heavy chains, it comprised 700 cartloads of the heads of Sikhs with another 200 heads stuck upon pikes. On 26 February 1716, this procession neared Delhi, and the king ordered his minister Muhammad Amin Khan to go out to receive them and to prepare them for a suitable display in the town. On the 5th of March 1716, the first batch, comprising of 100 Sikhs, were brought onto a platform in front of Kotwali. Kotwal read the royal proclamation: "Prisoners, you have the right to choose between Islam or death. Those who embrace Islam shall be pardoned, while others shall be killed." No one accepted. Such was the courage and calmness of the Sikhs that they would even joke with the executioner and thanked him, for it was he who would send them to their beloved Guru's abode. He is our Muktidata. Whoever is called steps forward, says an affirmative no to Kotwal's offer, looks around with a radiant smile, and then bids Fateh to his companions and places his neck under the executioner's sword. C.R. Wilson, who was a Bengali civilian, has given in his early archives of the English in Bengal the following description of this entry of the Sikh captives into Delhi. Malice did its utmost to cover the vanquished ridicule and shame. Without any sign of dejection or shame, they, the Sikhs, rode on calm, cheerful, even anxious to die for the death of martyrs. Life was promised to any who would renounce their faith, but they would not prove false to their Guru. And at the place of suffering, their constancy was wonderful to look at. Me deliver, me deliverer, kill me first, was the prayer which constantly rang in the ears of the executioner. After their decapitation, their bodies were thrown into a heap, and at night they were taken out into the city in carts and hung upon the trees. Life was offered to anyone who renounced their faith, but to the last, wrote Sermon and Stephenson in their letter of the 10th March 1716, it had not been found that even one apostatized from the new formed religion of Sikhism. Failing to get any clues after 3 months, they prepared to put an end to the life of Baba Banda Singh Ji on 9th June 1716. Baba Banda Singh Ji's cave was again hoisted on top of an elephant, and he was dressed in mock attire of an emperor, with a colourful red pointed turban on his head. His 4-year-old son, Ajay Singh, was placed in his lap. The 20 odd Sardars marched behind the elephant, and this special procession then passed through the streets of Delhi and headed for the Qutb ud Din mausoleum of Bahadur Shah, near the present Qutb Minar. On reaching the graveyard, the captives were again offered a choice of two alternatives: conversion to Islam or death. Needless to say, everyone chose death. The Sikh Sardars were subjected to tortures before being executed. Their heads were then impaled on the spears and arranged in a circle around Baba Banda Singh Ji, who was now squatting on the ground. Banda Singh was then given a short sword and ordered to kill his own son Ajay Singh. As he sat unperturbed, the executioner moved forward and plunged his sword into the 4-year-old Ajay Singh, cutting the body into two. Then pieces of flesh were cut from the body and thrown in Baba Banda Singh Ji's face. His liver was removed and thrust into Baba Banda Singh Ji's mouth. The father then sat through all of this without any sign of emotion. His powers of endurance were to be tested still further. One of the killing team proceeded further and took one of Baba Banda Singh Ji's eyes out with a sharp knife. The other killer cut his left foot, then his right one. Then followed his both hands were then brutally chopped off. Next were the turn of the red hot twitches and the squeezes. Deadly weapons tore lumps of flesh off Banda Singh's body, who sat cross-legged, unflinching. Outraged, the executioner turned into a living monster of death. He took his heavy sword into his hands and struck at Banda Singh constantly. Finally, there was no body remained at all, but pieces of flesh, bones, and pool of blood scattered all around. Pyareo, what you're witnessing in this very picture is the exact location where the great general, the great ruler of the Panther, Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur, was seated and tortured brutally. The gate that was also captured in this picture is the place where Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur was detained during his time there. There, Pyareo, today you have now learned just a little bit on the Shahidi of Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur. If you want to know more, please join your local satsang to find out. Remember, to know your Guru is to love your Guru. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.